everyone. Here we are with Eve Pearl and Crystal. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, and what would you like to learn today? What is it that you would like to find out?
Just generally how to cover up all these red spots that I have. I have a lot of allergies to, seasonal allergies and under eye circles, and just so that on screen I can look, nice and even.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, there you go. Nice and even. Every young woman wants to do is to look natural and look even and cover up all those little issues that we have. And you're going to be, you want makeup actually that will be great for every day as well as for appearing on camera, on air, because you're going to be part of a wonderful show on Telemundo and beyond. Telemundo. Ooh, say that again. Like what
Telemundo.
Ah, great. Okay then, and we are going to begin. We are going to begin with our priming moisturizer. It's great to prime and moisturize your skin. I'm putting a little bit of it here on the palette. So whether your skin is dry or oily, you want to have a little bit of a priming moisturizer. And we are going to try to do this so that it doesn't take too much time and everyone can see how quickly this can be achieved. Now when you came in today, you just were wondering about an under eye concealer and you asked about
the Salmon concealer.
The Salmon.
The famous Salmon concealer.
And we can't just let you go with only concealer when you have other things that we can show you. So first I'm going to do is test out which foundation will go. So this is the Light HD Dual Foundation. Okay, the reason I feel that you would be the light is if I would take the lightest color here and basically put it on the lower part of your jawline and blend this in with a wet sponge. If this part and your neck ends up matching, that means it is the perfect color for us. So the Light HD Dual Foundation, you see there's the light color and the dark. When we do things opposite of the way that we've been taught, so we're actually going to be using the darker color around your cheeks. We're going to create some great cheekbones and contouring. Wait till you see what's going to happen. You just wait and see, Miss Crystal. So we're going to start with your eye makeup first. So again, this is the Light HD Dual Foundation with a foundation brush. We're going to take the lightest color and we're going to do your eye makeup first. All right, because when we do the eye makeup first, this way everything that's going to fall down is going to be cleaned up and we'll always have a fresh face to start with. Now when you're doing HD, everything needs to be smooth and you want to be able to see your face because the cameras are so close up, so it's the closest thing to basically your real life. So this can work whether you're going to be on TV or whether you're going to be a bride or you got a date, anything you want. And the more sheer you want the foundation to go, the more wet you make the sponge. So I'm just going to take, this is a sponge, and just make it a little bit more wet. Okay, once we've done that, I'm going to take a little bit of the the Photo Finish Press Powder. So you just need a little bit of the powder. And we put powder right on the lid. And we're going to give you, what kind of look would you like? A natural on your eyes or smoky?
A little smoky would be nice.
You want a smoky eye?
Nice smoky
okay,
eye. Something that pops,
That's exactly what we're doing. It's all about the smoky eye this month, just to show everyone how to do a smoky eye that you can wear it during the day, at night, whenever you like. So we are going to use for you our Diva palette. Okay, this is our Diva palette for the smoky eye. And I'm going to start out with this little finger puff. You can put this on your face for when you're doing your makeup. It'll help, balance your hand. And I'm going to start out with this black liquid liner. And it's called a Black Pearl liquid liner. And once this dries, it becomes completely waterproof. And it's a great gauge to start out with. And I put this as close to the lash line as possible. And don't worry about making this be very smooth or perfect because we're going to smoke out the top part of your eye anyway. Okay, so we start out there. The next thing we do, if you wanted to make that part be very, very precise, is we're going to go to the Diva palette with a little liner brush. A liner brush you want to be very, very thin and angled. I'm going to start with the black and the blue. Oh, I was going to use another one, but I will use this one. And I just want to make sure that we create the area that I'm going to cover cover first. So it doesn't really matter how precise you are here, because we're going to just create the shape. So open your eyes. This is the best way to figure out what shape you're going to do. You want your eyes to be open when you do this. And you gently want to start pulling this up to see that, so you're not taking it too far out this way. So you know that you can go up to here and here. So that this area will be able to make a little bit darker in here. So close your eyes now. So now I know as far as how deep I can go with the darker colors. And when people do smoky eyes, sometimes they think, oh, that means I should use gray. You know, I should use just black. That is very, very dull and boring. And if you're just going to use, you see it, if you're just going to use gray and black, just think about that. Just gray and black. Doesn't that sound a little dull and boring? Gray and black? Ugh. What we're going to use is, we're going to use black. We're going to use blue, we're going to use green, and we're going to use a little bit of the wine color, okay? Yeah, because you want to have all these little colors going on, not just black and gray. So we're going to take a little bit of the black. Okay, we could start off there, close. And we're going to start off that all the way as close to your lash line as possible. So that's going to be our base. Okay, and we're going to create that little bit of a cat eye. Not really, but just a little bit. So we're going to start off with the black. This is the fastest way to do this. So we start with the black and take it out a little bit. Basically, I'm going as far up as your own natural crease goes. So we start with the black. But we can't just leave that. So you open your eyes. That would just be really dark all by itself. Now I'm going to go and take a little bit of the blue and put a little blue in there to give it a little bit of life and something else to look at. So no matter what you wear, you're going to have little pigments of blue. And now I'm going to put a little bit of green on there. So a little bit of the green. So now you have all these beautiful colors that are going to just pick up all the accents. And I'm going to top it off with a little bit of the wine. Now, of course, you can do all this at the same time. So you can do black, blue, green, wine, and get it all done in one shot. And if you don't want to use all the colors, you don't have to, but you'll see that when you're going to open your eyes, and when we mix everything in, it's going to look a little bit more interesting than just having plain green, plain black by itself. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit, don't worry, we're not going to have the little wings there. I'm going to take, this is the mixer blender brush with the warmer tones here, just something that's a warm color. And I'm going to go on the edge of where the dark makeup stops. And now I'm going to start blending this so it looks much, much smoother and not such a harsh end. So again, the warmer tones. And we're going to blend this down so that, believe it or not, it's not going to look harsh at all, and it's not going to look like you're about to go and be a rocker.
You have some nights.
Some nights, yeah. Nothing wrong with being a rocker chick, and you can actually make this look very, very classy and sophisticated and wear it to the office and wear it obviously to a wedding and beautiful events. But you want to just use warm, warm tones and not to be scared. I'm actually putting all these tones over the entire lid now. Now that I've basically blended everything going up, now I'm just going to kind of tone down everything, and also on the outside ridges. And then I'm going to take my all-over eyeshadow brush and my pressed powder, and I want to basically just clean up underneath your brow bone. So the whole transition from the dark to the light going up is very smooth. So it starts out dark, and it gets a little lighter, and even lighter still. So open your eyes. Notice that we have a little bit of action going on like that. And I don't think I like these points, so I'm going to just lower that down here. And we're going to accentuate all that stuff. First, I'm going to put one more layer of the black liner. Oops. Because I want to create a nice, a really pronounced black line where I'm going to put the your eyelash. Because we might as well just get real lashes on today. There we go. And once again, when you repeat this step more more than once, it actually helps keep your makeup on much longer so that you don't have to retouch. You can put it on one time and that's it. You can wear it all day long. You can wear it for 10, 12 hours and not have to think about your eye makeup still being there or creasing. It's not going to crease and it will look gorgeous. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take actually the priming moisturizer again with the same sponge that I used earlier. I'm just going to clean up all this mess that fell down. And this is why we do the eye makeup first, is because if you clean this whole mess up now, before you put the foundation on, you don't have to try to blend in all of these dark shadows into your foundation or figure out what to do with it after it's all fallen all over the place. Okay, so this is all the stuff that would have been on your face over your foundation. Never something fun to look at. Now you can do two things. You can put the inner liner on. Make sure that your pencil is sharp and then that you use a creamy pencil so that it's not one of those dry pencils that are gonna kind of scratch your eye. So make sure it's creamy. And what I mean by creamy is when you have it, you want to make sure that, look, it easily glides across. So now you're gonna look up, and you're gonna do the inside of the eye. Because when you do a smoky eye, you want to make sure you get the inside of the eye. And this is a good time to do it before you put the foundation and concealer on so you don't have to be ruining it by sticking your finger on under your eye. Here you get it all the way around. Okay, and your eye probably will tear a little bit at this point. Just leave it alone during this time. You can close, do whatever. This is also a time where someone needs to have their eyebrows filled in or just shaped, and you have gorgeous eyebrows. I'm just going to make them a little bit longer, so I'm going to take our Untitled palette and go 1, 2, 3, and basically use the last two colors, which are lighter than yours. And what I'm going to just do is, on the top of your own brows, I'm just going to extend them out a little bit because they're so beautifully shaped. But later when we put the foundation, we're going to really take them out and give you that gorgeous, yeah, sexy. And when you look straight ahead, it's okay. And when you do this, if you notice, I'm only going on the top of your own brows, just to sort of make this part look even, and right by your arch. English is so hard for me in some days. And we extend the arch out. And later when we put the foundation on, we're going to really extend the arch out even further. And now that the eyes have semi-stopped the tearing, I'm going to make a little bit more of the black and sort of work it gently. And don't worry about making this part too perfect, because we're going to be smoking this out and blending this part so it doesn't just look like a harsh black liner, because we don't like anything looking harsh. I'm going to go back again one more time to whatever's left of my priming moisturizer and my sponge that has like all this makeup on it now, and I'm going to do a last bit of sweeping and cleaning of anything that might have still dripped down, any particles. And look, see, there was still stuff that came down. Great. Now we're ready to move on. Here is what we do now. We're going back to the HD Dual Foundation Light. I'm taking the darker side. I'm using the darker side on your cheek area. So the greatest way to remember this is wherever your blush is going to go, that's where you're going to use the darker side, because we're going to do two things. We're going to create contour. We're going to give you some amazing, amazing cheekbones. And we're going to get rid of all your any discoloration, although really you've got beautiful, flawless skin, but you're going to be on TV. You need to have something there, so I want to make sure that I'm going to wipe off the black mascara that's on my finger. People don't think I have this weird thing growing. Okay, so we used the darkest color, okay, for all the areas that you're going to have blush, which would be around your cheeks. Now the reason I do this, okay, there's a reason to my madness, a method, because here's where we have red all the time, is around our cheek area. When you try to put a light color over the redness, it turns chalky. It actually accentuates it. Have you ever tried that?
Yes.
It has like a weird chalky, like a weird film.
Yes.
When you actually use the darker shade it calms it down and will neutralize it. And you're going to be putting blush here anyway, right? So why would you want to highlight that area? No need. Now watch what's going to happen. Okay, so anywhere that you have the redness, you're going to put the darker beigey tone. Now watch what's going to happen when I use the lighter color, okay? The lighter color, right underneath. Do you see how we're creating those cheekbones already? How they're coming out? And right down here. And it's going to blend better with your neck, which is usually lighter. And we're going to come back and deal with that part in a moment. Don't you worry. I'm going to take the lighter colors right around your lips and right on the tip of your forehead. But do you see like the cheekbones happening there? Now, because you really have beautiful skin, we don't want to cover your face. We just want to make it look even. So you know that our HD Dual foundations are actually foundation/concealers. That's why we don't need to use concealer everywhere in the face. We just, by the amount of water that you put on your sponge is the amount of coverage that you'll have. So the less coverage you want, the more you wet your sponge. The more coverage you need, the less you wet your sponge. And if you notice, I'm working everything back towards there, so to maintain this flow. And first I'm going to do the darker colors. And we didn't do your under eye concealer yet. I'm doing the foundation part first. So you see we're working this back. We're doing the nose area, around the lips. And now we're going to do the lighter. We're working all this back as well. You see how it's like creating just a subtle. And the important thing for HD and for real life is that you can still see skin. It's like I still see your skin coming through. It's not covered. And it's matching your neck. And I'm actually leaving yours a little bit thicker because I want you to see what you should do it like for when you're going to be doing this for cameras, for TV. You can certainly make it even a little bit thinner for real life. So for all those of you who are creating little videos even, you want to have a touch bit more. Okay, so this is our first layer. We're going to go back into our HD Dual foundation and just go 1, 2, 1, 2. A little bit of both. We're going to do a little bit right here on the redness. Simply with the brush. Okay? And we're going to go over that in a moment with some powder just to make sure that it sets. And anywhere that you might have an additional little blemish that you want to cover up, just take a smaller brush and go into the darker color of the foundation and just go over it with only the brush. Okay? Boom. Now, we're going to take the same brush that we just used, which is our concealer brush, and we're going to get a Salmon concealer. Now, the only reason we call this the Salmon concealer and treatment, this is what we put under the eyes. And if you look at this dark color, it looks like, oh my gosh, it's so dark.
Yes,
This is the medium Salmon concealer. Even though you are the light, this is the light Salmon concealer, this is the medium. We're going to see which one works better for you, okay? We're going to do the light on one eye. The light might be great. And you need very little, because as we all know, this is very highly pigmented, and it's actually treating your skin with omega-3s, anti-inflammatories, natural sun protection, and antioxidants 500 times stronger than vitamin E. It's the microalgae the salmon eats. That's why we call it the Salmon concealer. Oh, that looks beautiful. Now we're going to try the medium on the other side. We're going to try the medium. Just a little bit. And see which one we like. And I'm using the same sponge I used earlier for your foundation because I want a little of the foundation to mix in. So that's the medium. I think I like the lighter better.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take the lighter Salmon concealer for you. I'm going to put more of the lighter one here and just put it right over. Okay. And the most important thing also is that your skin feels good, that it feels like it could breathe and you're never frightened or scared to touch your face.
It feels very smooth.
Yeah, touch your face. You just feel like your skincare.
I'm amazed at how my eyes, they really feel smooth. It feels moisturized.
And that's,
it really
it's
does.
truly hydrating and
really
nourishing. And also don't forget the little areas right here inside by the inner part of the nose. You know, we have a lot of the blue, our veins that sort of show through. So we're going to put a little bit of it right there. I'm patting it. If you notice, I'm just patting it in. A lot of women have a tendency to put foundation or concealer and then wipe it all off. So let's put it there and just pat it. And remember, you can always add more. Alright, so we have that. Now, I want to put a little, let's see, I'm actually going to take, this is our medium blush trio. And if you notice, I have a little bit of peachy color, a little bit of a pinky color, and a bronzer. And this is a fan brush, okay? A fan brush is great because you don't have to choose and you can't make a mistake and make yourself look like a clown. So we're going to take a little bit of all these three colors and put that right here on your cheeks. And the same thing we're going to do on the other side. Now I actually went too many times on this side, so I'm going to show you how you blend that out. See a little blotch right here. So we don't like little blotches. And if you realize I didn't put any pressed powder on you, when you're using this method, being that even the blush trio is powder, you've powdered that area. So we like to start with the blush trio, and then we're going to take the pressed powder, and we're actually going to now blend all this down with the fan brush. So there's just smooth transitions. And also on the forehead. Let's see, look straight ahead. Look at you, how cute you are. And for the under the eye area, I would suggest just taking a little bit of a dry sponge and putting some powder right underneath and pat it. And I'm only going on this one time. You don't need a lot, but you need a little bit right under the eyes because you want to make sure that nothing moves down there, and a little bit around your lip area. And I like to top all this off with, again, the fan brush and a little bit of the bronzer, just like 2 little taps, and smile and put that right on the apples, because that will give you a little bit of a dewy look without looking too shimmery. Okay, 1, 2. And a little bit on your forehead, a little bit down here. And don't forget to take the pressed powder and put a little bit of it over the foundation that was on your neck. Okay, look at that. Telemundo better watch out. Okay, now for your under eyes, because we want to make everything look very smooth, I'm going to take, this is our Au Naturel palette again, with our little mini, this is our little mini smudger. And we're going to take some of this little bronze color, and I'm going to put it right underneath the black. You can look straight ahead, it's okay. I'm going to put it right underneath the black, because what I want it to do is to have a subtle transition, so it doesn't just end black, because that's boring. Put a little bit of the bronze underneath, it gives it, right, a little bit more of a dramatic look, softer. So, you know, we want to have the drama, but we want it not to be harsh drama. We want it to be sexy drama. See, a little bit, it just gives you, and it makes it harder for people to identify what's going on. I always like it when no one can tell what you have on your eyes. Keep it a little bit more of a mystery. I'm going to go back now into my original Diva palette with my mini smudge. I'm sorry, this is the crease. This is the little crease brush. Okay, the finer crease. So close your eye, because now I'm going to extend everything out a little bit more. So open now. So I'm creating. Now I'm going to help finish out, create the shape. Okay. So I'm just evening out all of this. Open. So I'm just gently pulling everything out. You can do this with your eyes open because you want to just see how far out you can go. And that's good right there. And then you want to take this is your blender mixer that has the warmer tones, and you can also just take this out a little bit further. So see how we're blending everything out? So the same thing here, we're going to just blend all this out. And I want to show you a little quick trick. If you want to make your brow bone area stand out, take a concealer brush, take a little bit of both foundations, wipe wipe off any excess on the back of your sponge and put this right underneath your brow bone. And this will make your eyebrows stand out even more. So this will give you a cleaner brow area. And I love watching the way women's personalities sort of change as the makeup starts going on the face, which is great. Now, obviously we can't leave that, so we want to make sure we blend that in, and blend this in. And you can always go in with your all over eyeshadow brush, press powder, right underneath, blends it all out. So all the transitions are much smoother, okay? And I'm not adding anything else to this brush, but again, I just want everything to have smooth transition. I'm going to give you a nudie lip, so I'm going to take this is our Cosmo pencil, and I'm just going to give a little bit of color close. I'm going to just put a little bit of color, a little bit of outline actually. And we do that, and now I take, actually going to take the back of this, there's a brush, and I'm going to work this in to your lip to just help form the shape. And then you're going to be getting, since the last model got the last one, you're going to be getting this, our Honey Bunny baby doll for you to keep. So I'm going to use this right on you. And because I want you to have a nudie lip. And this has a tiny bit of shine without too much shimmer, because you don't want to have a lot of shimmer for anything that's HD or glitter. Actually, shimmer is fine, glitter not so much. Okay, we'll put a touch of pink. Yeah, so it's more, look how natural you look. Huh.
Beautiful. Oh my god.
Feeling good? Feeling comfortable?
Really wonderful.
Good. See, who knew coming in for a little bit of a salmon concealer was going to get you a whole little...
I would have never thought.
And basically, this would be your look. The one thing I want to do one more time is I want to do one more coat of mascara. So one last coat of mascara, because you can never have enough mascara. Okay, a little bit of mascara. And I'm going to do a little bit of the bottom lashes. I'm going to take my little mini fan brush. This is a mini lash fan brush. And we'll get your bottom lashes. Okay, and your bottom lashes here. And basically, Crystal, you are done. How do you feel?
Gorgeous.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you go. So who is this for again?
Telemundo.